He's arguably the greatest tennis player to have ever lived. He's made history. He's a global icon who's transcended his sport. But even the legendary Roger Federer had to start somewhere. His first title came in 2001.
It was big for me. It was back in Milan, you know. I had 2 tough losses in finals before that. I was really close in both matches, but I ended up losing both. And then I was, I think, the favorite going into the Milan finals against Julien Bouter. I was really relieved when I won. I think you see it when it was game, set, and match. It was another one of those moments like, oh my God, I can't believe I won. It was like, oh, finally I have my first title. My career can stop right now. So it was one of those moments for me.
Thankfully for us, his career didn't end in Italy. And Federer went on to be a hero to many, not least of all his peers and the next generation of tennis stars.
I think he's one of the greatest, ambassador in tennis and the greatest player of all time for me. Of course, would be it's my dream to play against him in the final, and I'm sure I would love to have that battle once at least. And I think there's not enough words that you can actually describe him.
A slightly less intense playing schedule for 2013 might be seen as a sign of slowing down for the great man. But Federer has always enjoyed proving his critics wrong.
Yeah, I think I proved that, ever since my kids were born or ever since I turned 30, I actually always played better in the process, because this is when the critics were at its loudest after my kids were born, after I won the French Open and people were asking what more is there to achieve, or when I turned 30, people were like, okay, at 30 usually you go that way. I was like, come on guys, it's possible to do that as well, and I think I proved that on the tennis court. That's what's most important, is that I enjoy it, that I do have success, because that fuels motivation and inspires you to achieve more, and that's where I am today.
Unarguably one of the game's greatest, playing in an era of exceptional talents. It's a special time for men's tennis.
It's going to be an interesting year. We had 4 different Grand Slam champions last year around, so we all don't know what quite to expect yet, but Novak seems to have put his stamp on the year already, and now Rafa coming back. We don't know what to expect there yet, so it's an interesting year ahead.
It certainly will be, Roger. For tennis fans, 2013 is already shaping up to be a vintage year. Next week on ATP World Tour Uncovered, presented by Rio, who will reign in the Californian desert? We have all the action from the conclusion at Indian Wells. Plus, we catch up with fan favourite Jo-Wilfried Tsonga aiming high in 2013. And don't forget to log on to atpworldtour.com for your 24/7 breaking news, and talk with us on Facebook and Twitter. See you next week.